What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're breaking down Tuivasa versus Tybura. Um, mid card, okay. 13 fight card. Not a bad main card. Prelims, a couple of names you recognize, but nothing special. But let's just jump straight into it, guys. All right, we got Tuivasa against Marcin Tybura. And I had a quick look at the betting lines just before I jumped on, and I was pretty surprised to see that Tai Tuivasa is actually the favorite, even though he is on a bit of a skid, if I remember. Yeah, 3-fight losing streak, but against very good opponents in Cyril Gans, Sergey Pavlovich, and Alexander Volkov. And before that, he was on a nice little 5-fight win streak, ending with Augusto Sakai and Derek Lewis knockouts, which aren't bad. Pretty solid wins. But he's going up against Marcin Tybura, who is perennial top 10 heavyweight. Same as himself, been on a little bit of a skid, and by skid I mean one fight against Tom Aspinall, understandable. And before that, he had two nice wins against Romanov and Blagoy Ivanov. Two tough decisions, you know what I mean? Like not easy fights at all. But just go on my gut instinct. I'm thinking dog money on Marcin Tybura. I think he can last the first round, second round, take this into, deep waters, third, fourth, gas out Tai Tuivasa, potentially take him down. And yeah. If I my official prediction is probably gonna be Marcin, third round finish, fourth round finish, maybe, yeah, third round, fourth round, potentially fifth round finish. Don't see this one going to a decision. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure that's why the UFC put it in the main event, classic UFC. Terrible heavyweight main event, even though there was probably better fights on the card that could have headlined, but the UFC think that people only care about heavyweights. In saying that, looking at the co-main, Brian Battle against Angel Lusa. I don't know how this became the co-main event, but yeah, I guess that's a sign of the quality of the card. Saying that though, I like Brian Battle a lot. Um, Great striking, defensive wrestling's getting a lot better, good jits. And yeah, every time he fights, he impresses me. He looks like he's always making improvements. And yeah, no, I really like him. I see him on Insta sparring with Sean Strickland all the time. And his only UFC loss was in a loss that I definitely think he learned a lot from in that decision where he got out wrestled by these Russian boys' names. Here we go. Fakhretdinov. He absolutely smoked Kevin Holland in his last fight. Looked amazing. But in that since that loss, Brian Battle's been on a 2-fight win streak. Two finishes, real impressive finishes too. Smoke Gabe Green in 15 seconds with a head kick or a right hook. That was crazy. And then followed it up and submitted AJ Fletcher, who people thought would have a bit of trouble for Brian Battle on the ground. In saying that, though, Angalusa, another guy making a lot of improvements, was with the Black Zillions or Killcliff back in the day. Was one of Usman's main training partners for a lot of his fights, and hasn't had the best UFC run so far. Hasn't looked terrible, you know. Made his debut in 2013, then only had 5 fights in the next 3 years. Then took 2 years off, came back, lost a split decision, took another year off, came back, won a split decision, then took 2 years off, came on the Contender Series, lost a close, good fight to Jack Della Maddalena. That was my first time hearing about him. And then went back to the regional scene a year later, picked up a win over John Howard. Then the UFC gave him a call back in on the 4th of 2022. in April of 2022. Dropped a close decision to Monir Laziz, just couldn't get his striking going, and then has banged out two nice wins over AJ Fletcher and Reese McKee. Looked great in the Reese McKee fight. Looked like he gassed a little bit in that third round, but you know, Reese McKee does push a good pace, and he's a ridiculously tough. Like he would like Angel Lusa would have gotten most people out of there, but he could not finish Reese McKee. Brian Battle and Angel Lusa both have wins over AJ Fletcher. Um, Battle was able to finish him though. So my official prediction: Brian Battle by decision. I think Angel Lusa's tough. But I think Brian Battle will be able to outstrike him if he does get taken down, be able to get back up or, stay safe on the ground. So yeah, official prediction, Brian Battle by decision. Moving on, we got Kennedy and Chukwu versus Ovan St. Preux. Pretty crazy that Ovan St. Preux is still in the UFC, gatekeeping, fighting these young and upper comers. Like, look at his typology picture of him smoking some dude in Strike Force. He's 40 now. It's crazy how he's always been out of that Knoxville Martial Arts Academy, never moved to a big gym, always stayed in Tennessee. Their biggest name fighters is obviously OSP, Nick Gertz. No idea. Yeah, never heard of any of these people. Just OSP running the show. But 14 and 12 in the UFC, you know, let's see, can he go? Will he go? Will it? You know what I mean? Like, is this heavyweight or is this light heavy? This is light heavy. Okay, he's moved back down to light heavy. There was a while there where OSP went up to heavyweight. He got smoked by Felipe Lins in his last fight at heavyweight. And before that, he got another fight against OSP against Shogun somehow. Won a split decision against how old is Shogun nowadays? Jesus. Won a I guess a 40, he's 42 now, but he must have been 41 then. Won a close fight against a 41-year-old Shogun, which is not a good look. Look also how many fights have been cancelled. I don't know, is that OSP pulling out or his opponents, but a lot of cancelled fights. So a lot of miles on the tires for OSP. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this was his last one. When he's losing, he is getting finished, knocked out. When he's winning, it's either with the Von Flu, a submission, or he's able to catch you with something on the feet. But yeah, hasn't looked great since 2017. Bisping, George St. Pierre. I remember that card, New York, 217. That was the last time I remember OSP looking good, was that head kick over Corey Anderson. Then he got hurt real bad on the feet and standing gillied by Latifi. Then he straight arm locked Tyson Pedro, which was a good look in 2018, but now, after seeing how Tyson Pedro's looked, not the best looking win. Went to a decision with Dominic Reyes, not a bad look, even though Dominic Reyes basically finished him with 10 seconds left in that fight. Got submitted by Nikita Krylov. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how anybody can pick OSP in this one. Don't get me wrong. Kennedy Chukwu has let me down big time in a lot of fights. Like that Justin Jacoby one, he didn't. Saying that though, Justin Jacoby, world class kickboxer, anybody can get caught on the feet against him. But the one that hurts me was I remember I bet the over 1.5 in the Devin Clark fight back when I was betting, and man, he he had 2 more seconds, 2 minutes 30. He got finished 2 minutes 28. But before that Justin Jacoby fight, he was on a nice little run, and he's taking a bit of time off after the knockout. It will be 7, 8 months coming back, so hopefully he's made some improvements. Not the worst fight to come back to, OSP. So yeah, you got to go Justin Jacoby. Probably stand and finish. maybe second round knockout, you know. But yeah, I don't know how anybody can pick OSP in this matchup. You got to go Kennedy Nchukwu. Next up, we got Christian Rodriguez against Isaac Dulgarian. Big fan of C-Rod. Uh, People have been talking about him for a long time. Anthony Pettis, all the boys out of Rufus Sports have always been saying this young guy is going to be the next big thing. Um, Made his UFC debut against Jonathan Pierce in 2022. Looked okay. I remember him beating up Tracy Cortez's brother on Contenders. Didn't get the contract, unfortunately, because he missed weight. But went back to the regional, got a dub against a 19-36 guy. Not the best look, but obviously it got him back in the UFC. Dropped the decision to Jonathan Pierce, the gritty vet, tough guy, Jonathan Pierce. And then been on a little 3 fight streak against young prospects like himself. Looked amazing against Raul Rosas. Looked real great against Cameron Simon. The only thing is Bulgarian big hitter, great hands, really powerful striker, good takedown defense, college wrestler, trained out a good team, Factory X, Mark Montoya and the boys. Uh, the only thing is though, he's never been out of the first round. Whenever you got a guy like that, you got to be cautious betting him. Obviously, if you're gonna bet this, you got to play Bulgarian first round. You know, Let's see what the odds are on that. Um, Here we go. Five props method. Bulgarian round one. Okay, these odds are weird. Okay, the odds are still not fully out yet for the card because it's still only Wednesday where I am Tuesday, probably everywhere else. Yeah, so I'd play C-Rod decision or C-Rod submission, even maybe C-Rod just finish straight or Bulgarian first round. But looking forward to this fight. Gonna be an interesting scrap. Next up, we got Penny Kianzad against Macy Chason. I like Macy Chason. Very inconsistent, but super athletic. Uh, great, great athleticism. Learning on the job. You can tell she gets better every fight. Penny Kianzad, kickboxer, loves the decision, no power. Uh, 13 decisions. She's 15 wins with 13 decisions. That says it all, says everything. Every single fight she's had in the UFC has gone to a decision. She's kind of gone win-loss. Went on a little 4 fight win streak against Jessica Rose Clark Fetch, Sajara Eubanks, Alexis Davis, dropped one to Raquel, then came back again, Lean Landsberg, then dropped one to Ketlin Vieira. Yeah, I got. It's actually a tough fight. Safe money. Fight goes to decision. We all know that's coming. I'd bet my house on it. Even though, even though in her when she in her last 2 fights she has been finished. Macy Chiasson has. So take that as you will, but she's fighting the decision machine herself. So yeah, if I was gonna play it, I'm gonna let me see the odds on this. Let me see the odds on this. We got, yes, the odds are still not really out. If I was gonna play it, I'd see who was the dog by decision, probably play that little small action, but stay away from this, people. Stay away. Women's MMA. Besides the decision, you never know. We've all been burnt a billion different times by women's MMA. Don't do it to yourself. Have a quick drink of coffee. Plug in the laptop real quick. She's about to die, and we'll jump on to the next one. All right, we got Gerald Mearshart against Brian Bam Bam Barberena. Like this fight, like both the guys. Crazy that Brian Barberena is now a middleweight. Um, how tall is Brian Barberena? Because he didn't look like the biggest welterweight. Like he's 6 foot. He must just be 9-9 in the UFC. Fighting tough guys though. His last three fights: Mahmoud Muradov, Gunnar Nelson, Rafael dos Anjos. Three tough fights, man. Three very tough fights. And before that, he went on a nice little win streak. Matt Brown, Robbie Lawler, Darion Weeks. You know, smoked by Luque. Randy Brown stopped him. Leon Edwards, Colby. You know, they haven't given him any easy fights, but yeah, first fight at middleweight, tough one. Gerald Meerschaert, king of the submission. Third round submission is Gerald Meerschaert's game. Yeah, that Andre Petroski fight left a bad taste in my mouth in regards to Meerschaert. But in saying that, listen, I think he can submit Brian Barberena. I think he kicks from distance, you know, takes Brian down against the fence. Like he's got a win over Mahmoud Meredov, who smoked Brian in his last one. I know MMA math doesn't make any sense, but if you were just looking objectively, Brian Barberena's debut at middleweight, you know, you got to go Gerald Meerschaert by submission. Sprinkle a little second round, third round, Gerald by submission. But maybe the overs are a play here. The lines aren't really out, but yeah, I wouldn't really play this one to be honest. Next fight, Mike Davis against Nathan Levy. Big Mike Davis fan. Good to see him back. How long has it been since we saw Mike Davis? Uh, 2022, the 10th. Yeah, it's been a while. Been a while. I saw he was out at Bangtao a couple of months ago. So he's obviously been getting in lots of training in the last year and a half. Um, he had a few fights fall out, you know. So he was dealing with a few injuries as well. I remember him talking about his only losses are Sadiq Youssef on Contenders back in 2018 and Gilbert Burns in his debut, which is a tough debut for anybody. Since then, he's gone undefeated, 3-fight win streak against, Borishev's a good win. The Giga fight would have been great. The Jai Herbert fight and the Uros Medic fight would have been great too. Natan Levy, good kickboxer, but I just, I just don't see him becoming a top 15 guy. He's not, I don't know, like zero knockouts. Like you're a kickboxer, brother. How you got zero knockouts? You know, three submissions, pretty good. Likes the decision, but I remember that Rafa Garcia fight. I love Rafa Garcia. He's the ultimate Mexican dog. Like you can hit him with everything. He'll just keep coming forward. He reminds me of obviously they gotta look similar, but Darion Win. Better. He reminds me of way better Darion Win. Just big overhand rights. Loves coming in, grabbing the high crotch, pushing you against the fence. Um, yeah, I'm going Mike Davis all day long. I think he probably might even finish Natan Levy on the feet, to be honest with you, or get a decision. Might even be a little parlay piece if you like Mike Davis, but yeah, you got to pick Mike Davis. I really don't see any path to victory for Natan Levy here, but MMA, we've seen crazier things. Next up, we got just Joe. Here we go. I should have practiced this name. What the flip? Jose Nunez against Chelsea Chandler. I don't know why. That name is probably really easy. My brain is not recognizing it right now. Just saying. I do like her though. I've definitely seen her fight a couple of times. She reminds me a bit of Jessica Andrade. Big power. She's 5'2". She's flipping tiny. 7 knockouts for women's featherweight. She's not a feather. Is she a featherweight? Well, this is at bantamweight though. Yeah. 7 knockouts, 3 decisions. That's impressive. came in the UFC, knocked out Bay Malecki, the Swedish one, was on all knockouts. Her only loss is to Talia Santos on the Brazilian regionals. And obviously, we all know Talia Santos is really good. Took Valentina Shevchenko to a really close split decision. But if she can't get the knockout, she gets into these really close, fucking greasy, split, like close decisions. And I don't like that. Chelsea Chandler, though, she's good wrestler, good jits. But like she looked good in her debut against Julia Starilenko. Not an easy debut. Took her, and Starilenko is great on the ground. Took her down, ground and pound, finished her. And then next fight, she fought Norma Dumont, lost the decision. Norma Dumont, I think, future champ. Super young, super thick. Big things coming for Norma, but not the worst loss. Hopefully she learned a lot of things from that. Obviously, there was that meme going around of her sprinting away from Norma Dumont at one point in that fight, which is a terrible look. You never want to be like running the full length of the octagon to get away from your opponent. But nah, you gotta go Jocelyn Nunes, probably by knockout. I don't know. After seeing her run away from Norma Dumont, who is another decisionator, never finished anybody, I don't think, in the UFC. God damn. She got one knockout, and it's her getting knocked out. By Megan Anderson in her debut. I remember that. Damn. Since then, she has decisioned everybody. So yeah, I got Jocelyn Edwards a knockout. Um, so yeah, Jocelyn Edwards knockout, but yeah, don't play this. Whatever you do. Next up, we got Ode Osborne against Rafael Vilo. Ode Osborne, big, tall. Is he flyweight? Yeah, massive, 5'7" flyweight. Not that tall, but he looks super lanky. 73-inch reach, which is like the same inches like reach as Dan Hardy, who's a welterweight. Like big, long reach. 4-4 in the UFC. Inconsistent. Had some tough fights. Got gillied by Kelleher in his debut. Kelleher's got a great gilly. Then he smoked Jerome Rivera in 26 seconds. Then he got flying kneed by Manuel Cap. Then had a good fight with CJ Vergara. And then, so 4-4. Uh, and then he's fighting Rafael Filo, who's kind of famous now for what's it called? Looking juicy in that picture. For knee barring he knee barred what's his name? Makayev. That was a great fight. Respect to Makayev for eating that knee bar and then finishing him with the rear naked with 30 seconds left, even though he was up 2 rounds where he probably could have just, held on. Yeah, big win for Makayev there. And then he came in his next fight and submitted Daniel Barez with a triangle. I'd love to see the odds. What are the odds? Um, so yeah, Philo's a slight favorite. I think that's deserved. I think Philo might come in here, get hurt. He's never been knocked out. He's only been submitted. I think he gets maybe hurt a little bit in the first, and then eventually gets a takedown and is able to submit Ode Osborne. So yeah, I'd play Fijo by submission. Next up, we got Thiago Moises against Mitch Ramirez. Kind of weird they got Thiago Moises fourth on the card. I thought he would have been higher than a lot of somebody's fights. Bit of a name, fought Islam Makhachev, a few different people. But Mitch Ramirez, I like this guy. Fun fighter. Big hands, big knockouts. I remember getting knocked out on Contenders, but obviously they liked him because they gave him a fight 4 months later. I think he came in short notice. Oh no, he's coming in short notice now against Thiago Moises, but went back to the regional, got a win, and now he's coming in short notice against Thiago Moises. pretty sure this fight was put together in the last couple of days. That's why actually you're right. Thiago Moises is so low down. But yeah, you got to go with Thiago Moises submission, maybe even ground and pound, but parlay piece. Yeah, that's it. He was originally supposed to be fighting Brad Riddell. Sucks that that fight fell out. Would have loved to see Brad Riddell and Thiago Moises. But yeah, Thiago Moises submission or Thiago Moises straight in the parlay. But then again, Ramirez got hands, but I feel like Thiago Moises can get his takedown game going. Next up, we got Josh Culibao against Daniel Silva. Like Josh Culibao, making improvements every time we see him in there. He looked great against that guy, the Armenian boy. What's his name? Melsig Bagdalazarian. He looked great in that one. Dropped a close decision to Leron Murphy. Beat Sunwoo Choi. I like that was a great win. Um, you know, coming off the Australian regional, was a Hex champion. Danny Silva, on the other hand, though, haven't really. I'm gonna be honest with you, boys. I haven't really watched any tape on old Danny Silva. 5 knockouts, 3 decisions. Won a decision on Contenders last year, and then they're giving him Josh Culibao. I wonder, did the UFC like this guy? Giving him Josh Culibao, it's a nice matchup. They must like him. Yeah, I'm going Josh Culibao decision. I feel like he's got the UFC experience. He's been there with some good names, got some good wins under his belt. Wouldn't be surprised if maybe a Josh Culibao submission, but I think play it safe. Josh Culibao decision, maybe the overs are a nice look at this. Danny Silva never been finished, young, probably got that dog in him, still got his chin. Probably play the overs. Next up, we got Corey McKenna against Jacqueline Armon. Oh my God. I should have been looking at these names, boys, before I started the video. I'll do it for the next one, 100%. Jacqueline Amorium. Corey McKenna. A lot of hype when she came into the UFC. She was very young, training with Team Alpha Male. I remember Uriah Faber saying, she was one of the biggest prospects in the gym. She's 24 now. Got in the UFC 2020. So she would have been 20. Got a dub over Vanessa Demopoulos on Contenders. Then BK Hansen, who also had a lot of hype on her, another young prospect. Then I remember I had a lot of, not a lot of money, but I had Corey in a lot of flipping a lot of parlays for that one. I had the decision, but I had Corey by decision in a lot of them, and then Elise Reed. Respect to Elise Reed, she came in, looked great. And then I bet against her. I thought Miranda Granger would be too much for her, and then she found fluid Miranda Granger. So no more betting against Corey McKenna. It's near even. Damn. I feel like I remember this chick from Contenders. American top team. All finishes, lost the decision to Sam Hughes. Yeah, guys, I have no idea how you can pick this chick, Jacqueline Amorium. Don't get me wrong, women's MMA, anything can happen, but Corey McKenna, I feel like she's been making great improvements. Lost a tough decision to Sam Hughes, great learning lesson. Or this chick did, great learning lesson, but yeah, I think Corey McKenna is going to be too much for her. I'm thinking Corey McKenna by decision or 3rd round submission. All right, guys, that brings us to the first fight of the night. We got Chad Anglier against. Here we go, boys. I have to give me one last flipping hard name before the end of the card. Charalopoulos Gregorio. Sorry, guys. I can't even. What country is that? Where is this guy even from? What flag is that? Cyprus. Okay. Yeah, I've never heard of any boys out of Cyprus. He's training Longo Weidman. Not a bad gym. Great gym. And smoked the dude on Contender Series. Cameron Smotherman. Stop it. Smotherman. Sick fucking last name for The babyface killer, Smotherman. He does look like a babyface, doesn't he? Smotherman. Sick last name for an MMA fighter. Um, damn. So yeah, this guy's gone back to regional, got a flying knee in his last one. Yeah. Yeah, nah, I don't know how you can go with the smother this guy, Sharalapalu, whatever the flip. Um Won a fight on leg kicks against a 6-5 guy in the 5th round. Combat FC 3. Pretty good look. Uh, got subbed by C Rod, not a bad look. Fought some good guys, but I think Chad Anglier, he's got the UFC experience, got the regional experience. 12-7. I feel like that's a bit deceptive. I feel like he's fought good guys. Champions Creed martial arts. Where is that? Alberta, Calgary, head coach Brian Bird. We got Kennedy Nchukwu fighting out, or Hakeem Dawodu fighting out of there. Yeah, we got Dawodu. That's the only other guy fighting out of there. Not a bad name. Not a bad name. But yeah, nah. I think you gotta go. You probably got good bodies in the Serra-Longo gym, but I'm gonna go Chad Anglier. Let's see what are the odds for this. This guy's a slight underdog. Damn. Yeah, I feel like his dog or pass here. But also don't bet this fight. Anything could happen. But yeah, so that is the full betting breakdown of UFC Fight Night, Tuivasa versus Tybura. Sorry about not uploading last week. Had some family in town, but promise to upload more regularly and keep the grind going. All right, lads, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.